Hey everybody, welcome to Yoga for First Responders. I am Heather and today we're going to be working on the core. So not only just the front of our core that we like to work on so much, but the sides and the back of our core to balance everything out. Just get our core nice and strong. Help with that lower back pain that we so often get and just to get stronger and healthier. So let's go ahead and get started. We are going to begin by bringing these legs out in front of us, feet on the floor, and hands just to the front of those knees. I'll turn sideways so you can see my back, because as we're going to move, we're just going to move through a few seated cat and cows to start to wake up the front and the back of the core. So first, before we start to move, just try to find your space. Feel those feet connected with the mat, especially those big toes, gently just grounding down into the mat beneath you. See if you can notice where your sitting bones or the back of those hips are connected with the mat. And then let's sit up nice and tall. Just lifting tall through the crown of the head, slightly tucking the chin. And take a second to find your breath. Just notice how you're breathing today. Maybe it's through the nose, maybe it's through the mouth. Either way is fine. But just bringing awareness to your breath. And then when you feel ready to move, on your next inhale, sitting up even taller, we're going to roll those shoulders back and down, maybe even turn that gaze up towards the ceiling, and try to reach the belly and the chest towards those legs, towards the thighs, towards the knees. Take a nice deep inhale here, lifting a little bit taller, the shoulder blades squeeze together and glide down the back. And then on the breath out, we're going to round through the back. So we're going to draw the belly in, slightly tuck in the hips, and the chin comes down towards the chest. You can even relax that grip on the knees a little bit. Take another full breath here. And then we're going to move with the breath. So on the inhale, we reach the chest forward and up, drawing the shoulders back and down. And on the exhale, we round through the back. The shoulders come forward, the belly draws in. Inhale, reaching forward and up. Exhaling back and down. Let's go 3 times each direction. Try to come back to that connection of your feet and the mat every few moments or so. Exhaling as you round. Inhaling as you lift. And exhaling all the way back. One more time. This is great just to warm up the spine, get everything moving around the spinal column. Start to wake up through the hips and the shoulders. And then go ahead and make your way back up to a neutral spine. Let's swing those feet around to the side. So we come onto all fours. So bringing those hands about hip width apart, or shoulder width apart, the knees about hip width apart. Stacking those joints, so shoulders are right above the elbows, right above the wrists, hips are right above those knees. We're going to find a little bit of balance, a little bit of spinal extension as we engage the front of the core, lifting the leg, and also the back of the core. Engaging the thigh, engaging the glute. Lifting that right leg back behind you, toes pointing down. On the inhale, maybe the left arm reaches forward. Reaching forward through those fingertips. Gaze can just be gently down at the floor, looking down at the floor. And then slowly exhale, go ahead and lower the hand and the knee back down. Inhaling, the left leg lifts, flexing through the foot. Right arm reaches forward. Just one full breath as you reach in both directions. And exhaling as we release. This time, as we lift the right leg, the left arm, we're going to stay right here. On the inhale, we're going to bend through this right knee. Inhale, slightly looking up, reaching that hand up towards the ceiling. And then exhale, bringing the knee towards the elbow. Inhaling as we lift it back up. Exhaling as you round through the back. Inhaling, lift. Really engage, lift that belly away from the floor. Last time, inhaling as you reach and extend. Exhaling, draw it all in. And slowly bringing the hand and the knee back. Recentering on all fours, finding your breath. And then we'll inhale, left leg lifts. Right arm reaches forward. Bending through that left knee. As you're ready to move, on that inhale, lifting through the foot, lifting through the hand. Exhaling, bring the knee towards the wrist or the nose. Inhaling as you reach and extend. exhale, engage the front of that core. Inhale, open. Engage the back of the core. Exhale, draw it in. One more time. Inhale as you reach. Exhaling nice and strong, and slowly lowering all the way down. Bringing those big toes together, let's take a moment sitting back onto those hips into your child's pose. Just resting your forehead on the mat or on those hands. Let's take about 3 breaths here. And just try to track the breath as it moves into the nose and into the chest, maybe even into the belly. And then slowly back out of the belly, out of the chest, out of the nose. Okay, when you feel ready, you can always stay in child's pose for as long as you'd like. But when you're ready to continue on, palms on the floor, extending those arms forward. Try to walk those fingertips forward as far as you can. And then we'll begin to lift the hips, tucking the toes, reaching those hips back and all the way up towards the ceiling. Feel free to walk out those heels a few times in your downward facing dog. Just bending one knee towards the mat and then the other. Staying strong through those arms, so those pointer fingers and those thumbs really grounding down into the mat, acting as if you're trying to press the mat away from those feet. One more breath here, just relaxing both heels towards the floor. And then on our inhale, we're going to shift our weight forward to our plank. Plank is just the top of the push-up. You can be on the knees or on the toes. But we breathe in nice and deep here, lifting that lower belly up away from the floor. And then exhale, lifting those hips back up, downward dog. Inhaling forward to our plank. Engaging through all 4 sides of the core. Try to squeeze through the obliques, through the front of that belly, through that lower back. And then exhale, lifting those hips back up. 2 more times. Inhaling forward to your plank. Nice and strong. Crown of the head reaches forward. Exhale, engage that belly, lifting those hips. And the last time here, inhaling forward to your plank. Strong through the core. Exhale, lifting those hips back up. Downward facing dog. All right. Turning that gaze forward. Shifting your weight forward one more time into your plank, lowering down to both knees. And on the exhale, let's lower down to the chest and the belly. And then inhale, lifting the heart. Just into your baby cobra. Begin to get a little extension through the front of the body. Exhaling as we release back down. Inhaling back up to your kneeling plank. Exhaling, hips reach back. And inhale, just go ahead and roll up onto those knees and feel free to take a few circles with those wrists. Even though we're going to be working on the core, it's going to be a lot on those wrists and those arms as well too. Just strengthening the whole body. All right. When you feel ready, let's inhale, reaching both arms all the way up towards the ceiling. Connecting those hands and exhaling them down to your heart center. Lowering those hands to the floor and just walking them forward so they're slightly out in front of those shoulders. Reaching the hips back, then lifting those hips up high, downward dog. Finding your breath, and on that next inhale, we're going to reach our right leg back and up. Doesn't have to be very high, just reaching back through those right toes. Nice deep breath in with both legs extended. And on the breath out, we're going to bend that right knee, bringing it towards the right elbow. Inhaling as you reach that leg back up. Exhaling that knee over to the left elbow, so crossing underneath the torso. Inhaling as we lift back up. Exhaling to the right elbow. Inhaling, lift. And exhaling to the left. Last time, inhale up nice and long. Exhale to the right elbow. Come onto those left toes. Inhale and lift. Exhaling to the left elbow. Inhaling all the way up. And exhale. We're going to lower that right foot to the floor. Lifting those hips up high, downward dog. Inhaling forward to your plank. Lowering to both knees. Exhale, lower all the way down to the chest and the belly. But this time as you inhale, if you want to lift a little higher, feel free. stretching through the front of that belly. Exhale and lower back down. Inhale, and as we lift to those knees, tucking the toes, reaching those hips back, and slowly come all the way back up, downward dog. When you're ready, on that next breath in, left leg's gonna lift. Reaching it straight back behind you, out through those toes. Take a nice deep breath in. On the breath out, bending that left elbow, bring it, or left knee to the left elbow. Inhaling back up. Exhaling, crossing that knee underneath the torso over to the right elbow, and inhale, lift. Here we go, 2 times each side. Exhaling to the left, inhaling up, exhaling to the right, inhaling, lift. Last time, each side. Try to lift that knee away from the floor even as it comes to the elbow. And inhale that leg all the way back up. Exhale, lowering both feet to the floor. Lowering both knees to the floor, big toes come together. And as we come back into our child's pose, feel free to bring those hands back by those feet. Giving those shoulders a little rest. Or if you'd rather, the arms can be out in front. You can roll out those wrists. Just taking a few breaths here. Bringing awareness back to the breath. Beginning to slow down the exhale. Making it a little bit longer than the inhale. You can always breathe out through the mouth to help release a little bit more of that energy and that heat that you've created inside the body. We'll take 3 more breaths here. Try to bring awareness to wherever your forehead is connected with the mat or your hands. And as you notice that spot where the forehead is connected, maybe you slowly start to roll across the forehead, just side to side. Okay, slowly bringing that forehead back to center and extending both arms forward once again. Palms on the mat, space in between those fingers. Slowly beginning to lift through the hips, tucking the toes, reaching the hips back and all the way up. Finding your downward dog once again. Adjusting as needed, feel free to move around as needed. And finding your breath. On that next inhale, let's come forward into our plank. This time we're going to shift our weight into our right hand and our right leg, coming into a side plank. So you're always welcome to lower to that right knee, and then inhale the left arm up here. Or you can stack those feet, lifting both hips away from the mat, or kind of a middle ground, you can bring that left foot out in front and try to help lift up here. So any of those spots work. If this is hard on your wrist, you can always come to your forearm. But we are going to pause right here, and maybe we just stay lifted and we breathe. Trying to lift that lower hip up away from the mat. Or if you'd like to take it a little further, you can find a few little hip dips. Exhaling as you lower towards the floor, inhaling back up. We're going to hold here for 3 more breaths. You can totally do it on your knee or on those feet. And at the end of that 3rd breath, we're going to lower that left hand down, come back to our plank. Maybe give yourself a little yogi push-up with those elbows hugging in along the sides. Inhaling up, and then we'll switch sides to that left hand. The right arm lifts up, stacking those shoulders. You can always have your hand on your hip if you'd rather. Finding your space on this knee or on this side plank, whether you're on your knee, your feet are stacked, or that right foot's on the floor. And then when you feel ready, 3 breaths, whether you're holding or whether you're dipping those hips. Slowly dropping them towards the floor and then inhaling them back up. You've got it. 1 more full breath. then slowly lowering that right hand down. Take a little push-up if you'd like. And then we're gonna switch. Left arm lifts, side plank. Exhale, lowering that left hand down, little push-up. Inhaling, right arm lifts. Exhaling as it lowers, little push-up. Or you can just stay and hold in that plank. Inhaling, left arm lifts. 2 times each side. Remember, you can do this on the knees. Inhaling, right arm lifts. Exhaling, lower. Elbows bend. Last time each side. Inhaling, left arm lifts. I'm going to confuse you if I keep saying the sides, so just move with that breath. All right, as we come back to our plank, let's all come to those knees and slowly lower all the way down to the chest and the belly. And then go ahead and bring those hands forward, palms on the floor, and we're just going to rest the forehead on those hands. Take a nice deep breath in through the nose, long breath out through the mouth. Feel free to just sigh it out. Couple more breaths here. We'll be here for about 5 breaths, really focusing on lengthening that exhale. Take a moment, just notice what's going on inside the body. Maybe you can feel that heart rate slowing down a little bit. Maybe it's still elevated, and that's okay. If you find that happening, just try to stay with the breath. These deep breaths in through the nose, and out through the nose or through the mouth. Maybe you even engage that Ujjayi breath, the whisper breath. And then when you feel ready, we're just going to bring both hands back along our sides. So palms on the floor. Tops of the feet are connected with the floor. Tops of the legs are connected with the floor. And as we breathe in, we're going to keep the palms down. We're just going to lift through those shoulders. Try to do a big shoulder roll back and down. Lifting the shoulders away from the mat. Your gaze is just right off the tip of the nose on the floor. So our neck stays in line with the spine. And try to use those connections, your palms, your feet, your thighs, to gently stay connected with the mat underneath you. One more full breath here. Again, we're just lifting through the upper back. And then exhale, lowering back down. You can just rest on one side of the face. Okay, on that next inhale, slowly turning that gaze forward, we're going to lift the shoulders, the chest, and this time we're going to lift the palms. So fingertips reaching straight back behind you, but the legs and the feet are still connected with the floor. You might be able to lift a little bit higher with those palms lifted. Try to reach straight back through those fingertips. Again, keeping that gaze right off the tip of the nose. One more breath in, continuing to breathe here. And then exhale, lowering everything down, maybe turning your gaze to the other side. All right, next breath in. As you're ready, lifting the shoulders, lifting the chest, lifting those palms, and this time let's try lifting those legs as well. Toes are pointing back behind us, just lifting the tops of those feet off the mat, maybe even lifting those thighs, lifting as high as you can, but make sure you can still continue to breathe here. Nice deep breath in, long breath out. One more full breath as we hold. And then exhale, lowering all the way back down, turning your gaze to the opposite side. All right, one last push. Here we go. Inhale, lifting the head, lifting the shoulders, the chest. The palms, the legs, everything lifts off the mat. Now as we pause here, inhale as we lift through the back of the body, and then we're going to find a few little movements with those arms. Reaching the hands down towards the floor and then back up again. Continue to keep those legs lifted, toes pointed back. Continuing to breathe 5 more times with those hands, moving them down and up. You've got it. And when you are finished, exhaling all the way down, turning your gaze to the other side. Okay, slowly bringing those hands forward. We'll bring the hands underneath those shoulders. And on an inhale, let's come up to those knees. Exhaling as we round through the back, reaching those hips back towards the heels into your child's pose. As always, if child's pose isn't comfortable for you, you can be all the way up on those knees or just have a seat directly on the floor. So let's just take 3 breaths here in this child's pose. And then on an inhale, we'll slowly roll all the way up. Go ahead and come all the way up onto those knees. We'll bring those hands to the lower back. So just nice big shoulder roll back and down. Engaging through these thighs so we lift nice and tall. On the inhale, turning that gaze up. Exhaling as we drop the shoulders down and back, reaching those elbows towards one another and gently pressing those hips forward. Nice stretch through the front of the body. And then exhaling as we come back to center, swinging those feet around to the side and go ahead and have a seat all the way on your mat. And we're going to scoot forward towards the front of our mats. Make sure you have space behind you, bringing hands to the back of those knees and very slowly lifting those feet all the way up, coming into a little boat. Now you can keep a hold of those legs or you can reach those arms out to the sides. Drawing that belly button a little closer to the spine here, lifting tall through the crown of the head. Just like we did on our bellies, we're going to find some movement with those arms. Just reaching them down, reaching them up. Maybe try to bring awareness to the front of the core, the belly here. See if you can feel any engagement, what's going on in that belly as we move through those arms. 5 more times here. And then as slowly as you can, we're going to hold those arms still. We're going to reach the hands towards the feet. And as slowly as you possibly can, extending, lowering all the way down to your mat until you can reach those arms up overhead. Go ahead and stretch those legs out. And just take a nice big stretch from fingertip to toe. Allowing that lower back to lift off the mat. As always, after working the core, we need to stretch it out through the core, through the hip flexors. 1 more breath here. Then on the breath out, try walking your feet and your arms over to the left side. Create a little half moon shape with the body, opening through the right side of the body. Nice deep breath in, and all the way out. Slowly walking those feet, those arms back to center, and over to the right side. Walking the hands and the feet over to the right. Try to keep those shoulder blades connected with the mat. Just breathing deeply into the left side of the body. And then slowly back to center. We'll bring those knees into the chest, wrapping those arms around the legs. Feel free to rock those knees side to side just a few times here. And then as we bring those knees back to center, go ahead and bring those hands to the back of those legs. We're gently going to rock and roll all the way back up to a seat. Just finding a nice tall spine, a comfortable spot here. As always, even though we are finishing up, feel free to continue on. Feel free to lay down on the back and take a little shavasana for yourself. A few minutes of just some stillness and quiet. Or you can finish up with us. So when you feel ready, just finishing your next exhale. And on the inhale, let's reach those arms up. Take a nice deep breath in through the nose. Long breath out through the nose. And then a nice cleansing breath in through the nose. And out through the mouth. Thank you for joining me today to build some heat within the core, getting stronger from the inside out. Hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll see you next time. Namaste.